to the music, sports, news, and unique experiences. Powered by your Metro Detroit Ram truck dealers. MusicTownDetroit.com.
Imagine a world with endless possibilities. I'm talking endless savings and endless hot showers. Yeah, you heard me right. Endless hot showers. With Navien, that dream is now a reality. Navien tankless water heaters deliver a continuous flow of hot water for as long as you need it. No waiting for a tank to reheat more water, wasting time and energy. The compact design saves you space and money in comparison to traditional tank water heaters. It's time to make the switch and make your hot water dreams come true. Visit tanklessmadesimple.com.
Millions of people use Zoom Phone, the innovative and feature-rich cloud phone system for businesses of any size. Zoom Phone is simple to use, whether you're on a mobile device, desktop, laptop, or desk phone. And because every call is important to your business, Zoom Phone was built with reliability in mind, using geographic redundancy to keep your communications online. Empower your workforce with Zoom Phone. Visit zoom.com/phone system. Zoom, how the world connects.
At the United States Postal Service, we deliver packages fast and affordably, so you can give your customers what they want when they need it. We're delivering for one-stop shops, mom and pops, pop-ups, startups, retail, wholesale, large scale, small biz, big box, customers, customizers. So no matter what business you're in, we'll always be delivering for you. USPS, delivering for America. Learn more at USPS.com/delivering.
Get help managing your money for the life and years ahead with Fidelity Income Planning. We'll look at what you've saved, what you'll need, and help you build a flexible plan for cash flow designed to last, so you can go from saving to living. Fidelity Brokerage Services number NYSE SIPC.
Looking for a career in HVAC with a company that wants you to grow? Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical, the most trusted family-owned and operated HVAC company, is now hiring for 3 locations. Honest, skilled, and highly motivated service techs, installers, and residential electricians. Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical offers great pay, medical, dental, life, short-term disability, PTO, training, and more. Join the family. Apply online. FamilyHeating.com. FamilyHeating.com.
Your opinion matters. Call the D Las Vegas 97.1 D Ticket Studio line at 248-539-9797. Book your stay at the D by visiting thed.com. The D Las Vegas, the home of Detroit sports in Vegas.
The Detroit Red Wings host the Boston Bruins. Begin tomorrow at 7:15 on 97.1 The Ticket.
Bowman from the shotgun hands it to Javier Dunlap. He knifes over the left side and into the end zone for a Michigan Blue touchdown. 6-3 Blue team.
Douglas Karsh with the call on 97.1 The Ticket. Don didn't have anything to say there.
No, I got to make sure. I got to stay out of the big plays.
I know.
The Eric All pass.
That was a pretty cool play.
That was awesome. Fun to see a little bit of razzle dazzle, and I think I actually entered in with a razzle dazzle at the end because we might have been talking with Mel Pearson at the time, and I always hate when I throw in a comment there, and to me it ruins the moment.
Right. Oh yeah. Sometimes color analysts
can shut up.
Yeah, they should. Yes. But sometimes
it's a spring game, so we were
right. That's number one. It was your spring training. Number two, sometimes the moment is so unbelievable that naturally, especially relationship you have with the team,
if you heard me cheering in the background and I was cheering along with the fans, that'd be one thing. But to say words, to me, it's a sin.
Yes.
I committed that sin.
Yes. So that was Saturday's spring game. The Blue team, Michigan Blue, as Doug called it, defeated Michigan Maize. Before we get to your thoughts on the game, Colin Kaepernick performed at halftime.
Yeah.
Throwing to Dalen Baldwin was the only guy I recognized, right? And other guys were this undrafted receiver. I don't know who they were.
Yeah.
But he looked really good. Now, the question is, how much does it matter when you're throwing to receivers who have no defenders? But this is what guys do at their pro days, right?
Right. Well, the difference is a pro day guy is 21, 22.
Right. He's 34.
Right. And he's projecting, somebody that can be with you for the next decade, maybe 15 years.
Right.
Colin Kaepernick, if he does get an opportunity, how long is he going to be with that team? How much longer will he play? He's been out, 6 years? I think he's, 10 years removed from college. So he's still, he showed he can throw.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that you've got to see. Now, the other is he wasn't able to, you're not analyzing a defense. You're not making decisions. You're not under pressure. So that's the big question is how do you evaluate that? You want to be able to evaluate arm strength. All right, check that box. He did that. Accuracy. It was okay. I would have liked to have seen a couple of times a little bit more accurate, but he's also meeting these guys for the first time. They're meeting him. There was a couple of routes where I wasn't really sure what they were running, and I don't think he knew either.
Exactly. Look, part of it was a show. It was part of a documentary. Spike Lee was there with the crew and all that. I get all that, but the question I had for you is because look, we joke around. I personally believe it'd be worth bringing him into the Lions, to compete with if you wanted Blau for or even Boyle for the second job.
Yeah.
What's the downside? And people say, well, it's a distraction. You got Hard Knocks anyway. I mean, Kaepernick is a one-day story when he addresses all this stuff, and then he goes on and competes. If he makes it, he makes it. If he doesn't, he doesn't. Now, you think there's a better team than the Lions?
Yeah, I think Atlanta would be a great fit for him to go in. Where they got Marcus Mariota right now, and he is a mobile quarterback. What would you want to do as your backup quarterback is to have a guy that's mobile as well. Now, maybe they're intending to see if they can get Malik Willis and make him their number 2, but you've got a guy with some experience, right, in Colin Kaepernick. He's been to a Super Bowl. So you put that on your team, and whether it's the experience of being in the Super Bowl or just being under pressure situations, analyzing defenses, I think he could be an asset to a guy like a Malik Willis.
Yeah, I mean, look, he showed that he could throw the ball.
Yeah.
And he was pretty mobile. Granted, nobody was chasing him, but
right.
That was
that's never been a question about him.
Right, exactly.
He's a good athlete. He's a great physical specimen.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, what is he, about 6'5"?
Yeah.
And he's obviously been training the entire time.
And he can, even if it's 35, 38 degrees out, which it seems like it was, or 40 degrees out, he was out there.
Now, here's what I liked about him and how he talked about this opportunity. He didn't say, I want to come in and be your starter.
Right.
He did say, hey, I understand where I'm at. I understand how long I've been out, and I want to come in, and I'll come in as your backup. I just want to compete. I thought that was a great quote.
That's why he fits in with a lot of teams, if you ask me. All right, it's time for news. Here she is, Emily's mom.
Oh, yes. Good morning, boys.
Good morning.
So the Grammys, they went down last night, and not a single person got slapped, so I've got no big news coming from the Grammys, which is good. Of course, that incident from the Oscars was brought up a couple times throughout the night at the Grammys. Trevor Noah, he hosted, and he opened the show by saying, quote, we're going to be listening to some music, we're going to be dancing, we're going to be singing, we're going to be keeping people's names out of our mouths. So he kind of got that out there right off the bat. And it was brought up a few other times, but as far as the awards themselves go, John Baptiste won Album of the Year, Silk Sonic won Song of the Year and Record of the Year. Olivia Rodrigo, she had a big night as well. She won Best New Artist, Best Pop Vocal Album, and Best Pop Solo Performance. Check out the long list of other winners as well.
I know the Foo Fighters won some stuff. Obviously, they couldn't perform because of the passing of their drummer. I did watch a little bit. I wanted to see the In Memoriam segment that they show.
Yep.
And it was fine, except they showed people singing. And I don't know their names because I wasn't paying that close attention. But they're showing close-ups of these people singing this sad song or whatever. And in the background, they're showing pictures of, with graphics of people who passed away. I couldn't tell who they were. It's like, we don't play the music. I don't need to see you sing. People need to know who we're honoring.
They didn't have names?
No, they did, but they did. Some of them were full screen, the others were behind them, so it was very difficult to see, in my opinion.
Not an award show, guys, so...
Yeah. I know, John, I didn't watch this one either, so that's all right, for sure. Now, speaking of that slap, Will Smith has resigned from the Academy. So he wrote them a letter, and he said that he will fully accept any and all consequences for his conduct. He also called his actions shocking, painful, and inexcusable. His letter went on and on. I read most of it. It was actually a very good letter. He apologized again to Chris Rock. Anyway, the president of the Academy has accepted the resignation, but he did say they will continue to move forward with any disciplinary proceedings, which will be presented on April 18th. That's when the Academy is meeting again. And it also sounds like some of Will Smith's projects, his upcoming movies, could also be on, not the chopping block, but he could be losing out on some work, right? So there's several projects. He was supposed to do a movie for Netflix called Fast and Loose, but that got shelved. Also another movie called Bad Boys 4, that's on pause for at least now anyways. We'll see what comes of those.
He'll be back.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, and you know what? I think he's admitted that it was a mistake. He's apologized. Yeah, there are going to be consequences, but I don't know what more people want from him.
Well, I thought just the fact that he has resigned, he took it, he did it himself. If he would have been kicked out of the Academy, he would have been amongst people he probably didn't want to be amongst, like Harvey Weinstein, Bill Cosby, and some others.
Roman Polanski.
Yes, yeah, he's in there too. So I think it's I thought it was great that he did that, and the letter was nice yet again. So we'll see if they discipline him any other way as well. Police are searching for multiple shooters after 6 people were killed and dozens others were injured in this mass shooting that took place in downtown Sacramento early Sunday morning. This tragic scene, it sounds absolutely horrendous. It unfolded as crowds were leaving bars, leaving nightclubs. It was around 2 a.m. Everyone was emptying out. 3 men, 3 women were fatally shot. 12 others had varying degrees of injuries, and police are still looking for these shooters. They did say they have recovered at least 1 firearm. They also said that there was a large fight that took place prior to the shootings. So this is still unfolding, the investigation. And finally, there is a 15-year-old Chippewa Valley High School student that is facing multiple charges after bringing a gun to school. So on Friday, the school received a tip from a parent and from another student about this suspected I wouldn't say gunman, but somebody who had brought a gun to the school campus. And they responded very quickly. They brought police in immediately. The school was placed on a temporary lockdown, and the student was taken into custody without incident. This teen has been charged with carrying a concealed weapon, receiving and concealing a stolen firearm, and possessing a dangerous weapon on the school grounds.
We don't know if he had plans to use it, do we?
No. According to the article I read, I did not see anything like that.
All right, thank you very much, Heather. All right, coming up next, the aardvark was extinguished. Is it a good thing? 97.1 The Ticket.
What's up, everybody? Nick Costos here with the Bet River Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by Bet River Sportsbook, Detroit's hometown sportsbook. Pro football futures market. Let's focus on Tampa, who's got a new head coach now. The old head coach retiring, the former defensive coordinator taking over. Some people might think, wow, this is going to make a difference in the betting market, or it didn't at all. Tampa's still the second favorite to win the Pro Football Championship, the favorite to win the NFC. Minus 305 to win its division, the NFC South, and a win total of 11.5. So it really doesn't make a difference at all. They've still got the quarterback, who's the greatest quarterback of all time, still have an absolutely stacked roster. So if you're looking to place bets on Tampa, do not let the fact that they have a new head coach affect your decision making. It actually doesn't impact anything. That's it for this Bet River Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by Bet River Sportsbook, Detroit's hometown sportsbook. Check out the latest lines today at BetRivers.com. I'm Nick Costos. Keep it locked here for more throughout the day. Must be 21, playable in Michigan. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-270-7117.
I'm Dr. Schmidt. As an intensive care unit physician, I wrote the first COVID-19 death certificate at my health system. And since the beginning of the pandemic, I have never taken care of a patient dying from the vaccine. Nearly all the patients in the ICU are unvaccinated. I see healthy young people making their last FaceTime call to their loved ones about to be put onto life support with a less than 50-50 chance of survival. And this is preventable. You will have to trust me in the intensive care unit. Please trust me now. I trust this vaccine. Mask, distance, above all, vaccinate. Boost
Finance Services.
Hi, I'm David Hall. At Hall Financial, we're the only call you need to make for purchasing your new home. Get pre-approved from a lender that you can trust with a reputation that you can count on. At Hall Financial, we created the 5-star certified pre-approval for you to take on the competitive housing market, and man, we'll even connect you with a top-rated realtor from our exclusive network. Get started now at 866-CALL-HALL or go to callhallfirst.com.
Hall Financial, equal housing lender, NMLS number 1467435. Are you a man facing divorce? Watch to avoid losing your house, your money, and your kids. This is attorney Brent Boyer from ADAM, the American Divorce Association for Men. With our proven advice, we can help you avoid problems before they start. Call us at 248-356-2326. That's 248-356-ADAM.
Dealing with a dead battery? Head to AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination. They offer free battery testing to help you know if you need a new battery or not. Or if you're in need of a fresh charge, they can help with that too. They've got reliable replacement batteries starting at just $69.99. And they're the only place you can find proven, tough, Duralast batteries. So next time you're having battery trouble, head to AutoZone.
Anywhere fans go to cheer on their team, there are behind-the-scenes MVPs, ensuring everything is game day ready. We see you, Joe, fixing seats so every fan can enjoy every game. And Ellie, who keeps our stadium running smoothly from the moment the first game starts, right through to the last play of the season. And Granger, you are our MVPs, and we will always here for you. With supplies and solutions for every industry, 24/7 customer support. Call Granger.com or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
This hour, instant feedback on by Mike Pearl, National Benefit Plans. Call 877-734-2200.
The station where your opinion matters. Live from the Jamie Samuelson studio, here's Tony and Jensen.
97 on the ticket. The telephone number is 248-539-9797. The Red Wings lose to Ottawa 5-2. Back-to-back 5-2 losses over the weekend. Ottawa Senators. Fans were yelling fire Blashill on Friday. I don't think that's going to happen until the end of the season, personally, but you never know. The Pistons defeat the Indiana Pacers 121-117. Sadiq Bey, 31 points in 23 minutes. 7 for 9, 43.9. The Pistons made 21, 31 3-pointers. No Kay Cunningham, no Bagley, no Grant, no Gallo, no Joseph. No loss. They still win, and thankfully Oklahoma City was able to upset the Phoenix Suns. So the Pistons are now half game behind Oklahoma City. Third spot, if you want to call it.
That's the third worst record.
Yes. We must stay there. That's the bottom three. Bottom three. Yes. Houston and Orlando are 3 games behind, so that will have at least chances in the lottery. Tigers lose to the Phillies 8-7. AJ Hinch will join us at 8 o'clock. And congratulations to Lady Cox. The South Carolina Gamecocks. No, not really. 64-40. No, I mean, I didn't know if I should say the Cox or Lady Cox. Whatever. We'll just call them the Gamecocks, I guess. Or just call them USC, South Carolina. Beats UConn 64-49 to win the NCAA Women's Championship. The men get decided tonight. Kansas, 4-point favorite over North Carolina. The Tar Heels defeating Duke. Indy, the career of Mike Krzyzewski. They beat him in Cameron. His last game there. They beat him in the Final Four.
The clock has started. What's he gonna in 40 days? Are we gonna have an announcement?
Oh, is that the Tom Brady?
Yeah, he's gonna Brady it.
Yes.
I'm coming back for one more. There's unfinished business.
Look, it was. You know how I feel about him. I think he's the greatest college coach ever. But there's, I don't like him because I think in some aspects he's a phony. basketball in some aspects is supposed to be about, right?
Yeah, it should be. It's great to see that, and honestly, it should be just about the best players. Sometimes they are freshmen, and I know the whole one and done thing is, for the purist, probably not ideal.
Right.
But you're looking at two teams, and the kids on both sides have handled themselves throughout the course of this year, in game, in the media. There's no controversy on either side.
Correct.
From the player's perspective.
Right.
And that's great to see. And North Carolina, gosh, Gov said this at the break as well, and I'm going to echo it. There is nobody playing better at this time of year. Going into the tournament, obviously we saw the last game at Cameron Indoor where they were able to beat Duke and then obviously follow through in the Final Four, do it again. But they are playing as good a basketball as you're going to see, across.
So's Kansas. I mean, they won scare against Creighton.
Well, the way that Kansas came out against Villanova, and I know Villanova was down the war towards Achilles, and that was, you could tell it affected.
Yeah, because they were not a very deep team to begin with.
Right. But the energy and the way Kansas went out there and said, we want this game. We want it better than you do. And it's not that Villanova didn't go out there and play well.
No.
They made a great comeback.
Yes.
But Kansas was just playing at a different level for the entire game.
And North Carolina, I mean, Caleb Love was incredible. And he only hit 3 of 10 free, but they were big ones. Backcourt played really well, even though he's a little bad. I mean, they played really well. I mean, the transfer from Oklahoma, Manic, he hit some ridiculous shots.
Yeah. And here's the other thing about Duke, and I saw this last night. You know that they're calling them the best, worst team, because obviously in the Final Four. But every single loss that they had this year, which was 7 of them, was against unranked opponents. It's the first time, and it said the first time a Final Four team or a top 10 ranked team had lost 7 games all to unranked opponents. They played Ohio State early in the season, lost by 5, unranked. Same with Miami, Florida State, Virginia, North Carolina twice, and Virginia Tech.
Reason though to look at rankings and say whatever. I mean, the entire college basketball universe underrated the ACC all year.
Yeah, right.
It's clear, and you know what? Carolina's always going to have talent, and it just has risen to the occasion. I can't think of what an admirable moment for them. The second half of the last game of the regular season at Cameron Indoor, when they were facing, the feel-good thing with Coach K, last game at Cameron, all that, and the way I watched that second half, and the way they played was ridiculous, and they just came together. It's I'll go to Greg on this, he's a geek, but, very reminiscent of a combination of Michigan's 89 run and Arizona's 97 run and those UConn underrated teams. This thing just has kind of woven and come together, and I think that they might clock Kansas tonight.
Oh, they might win. I don't think there's a clock. Kansas is too good to get a clock.
Kansas has a way of going into a drought during a game.
Yeah, I know, but I still think their talent is good. They'll be able to keep it.
Yeah, but you can also say, in a national championship game, for a team that's favored by 4.5, depending on where you look, getting clocked maybe losing by 8.
To me, that's not getting clocked.
Right, but that's the expectation. They're a number 1 seed. This is a number 8 seed.
Right.
Just losing to a number 8 seed doesn't constitute getting clocked.
No, see, I disagree. I mean, to me, when I hear the expression, I'm going to get a semantic mark, getting clocked, we're talking about getting blown out of the game. It's not just last year. Baylor can tell.
That was Balboa Creek on Saturday night. That game was unbelievable, and what you did, Stoney, is I don't know how you did what you did. You're an epic sport.
Yes, I fell asleep on the couch. but it was great because when I woke up,
18 lead changes weren't exciting enough for you?
Whatever.
No.
I'll watch
But I
the
fell asleep.
highlights.
But I fell asleep with 5 minutes left. I didn't fall asleep on purpose. I was watching the game. Next thing I know, Barkley and Kenny Smith are talking about the game, and I said, "Holy cow!" So thankfully, the DVR, it goes back a long way. So it picked up. I just went back and I watched the last 4.5 minutes.
It automatically records the last half hour.
Yeah. So it was great. So I didn't miss anything. I missed it watch during the day, and that type of thing.
It was a Saturday night. Were you tired?
Halftime.
No, actually not. Actually,
Took a shower.
Halftime is extended in the Final Four.
Had a smoke.
I was not extended though. See, I'm actually my wife wasn't feeling very well either.
And she had a headache, did she?
No, I just fell asleep, and it happens, but I don't feel bad about it because I got to watch everything for the first time anyway,
I was on the edge of my seat. I thought this was like...
It was great.
What would it take for Stoney to stay awake for a game? I mean, that is one of the most exciting games that you're going to get in a championship atmosphere.
It was incredible. Did you fall asleep too when Edelman caught that pass in the 28-3 comeback?
At 28-3, though, I mean, I can imagine, okay, I'm going to fall asleep.
No, I'm just watching the game, and then the next thing you know, I have a very comfortable couch.
I'll never forget when you fell asleep when Larry Fitzgerald scored in Super Bowl 43.
Yeah, I fell asleep right before halftime at the stadium.
At the stadium.
Right before the Philly special. Marissa had to wake me up. So let me ask you this then, all right? 248-539-9797. Have you ever fell asleep during something important, like a big game? Sometimes it happens, especially late. And I'm not going to say the game was too late. It was a Saturday night. It's nothing to do with that. But sometimes, like when the Wings were making their playoff runs years ago, and they're playing like the Sharks or the Kings or the Ducks on the West Coast, it's like even if it's a Friday night, it's like 12:30, quarter one. It's like you're fighting to stay up.
Right, but that's a 7-game series, and it's also the anticipation of, hey, we've been here, we've done this, you get spoiled a little bit, you fall asleep for one of the 5 or 6 games.
I didn't get my nap in on Saturday, so maybe that had something.
Well, for us in defense, when we get up during the week, I think it's a little excusable on a weeknight.
Right.
Like I fell asleep during the late in the Georgia-Bama first national title game. So I missed the 2 touchdown to Devontae Smith.
Oh, see, I couldn't fall asleep because remember, Gov, I had all those high school kids in my basement. All right, 248-539. That was because at the time I had my one daughter was about to go to Georgia, and a neighbor's kid was going to go to Alabama. So we had a Georgia-Alabama.
Sure.
This came up. Anyway. All right, 248-539-9797. Couple of things. You ever fallen asleep during anything significant, like a game? Also, what do you want to win tonight? 97-1.
Hey, Natural Lawn and Tree Service knows that your lawn is going to start greening up, and along with the grass that you want, you might see some crabgrass. So you got to give Natural Lawn and Tree Service a call at 888-GET-GREEN, because it is very important that you prevent that problem. It's easier to do that than it is to fix it. So schedule an early call now, because if you give them a call for a limited time, you can purchase a full lawn program. You're going to get free grub control, free surface insect control, but you got to mention my name along with 97.1. The ticket, here's how they get it done. Each lawn is assigned its own specialist. They're going to custom tailor a solution specifically for your yard and your home, and they're so sure that they can get it done because they've been doing it for over 3 decades here. They're going to give you a 100% satisfaction guarantee. You can give them a call at 888-GET-GREEN or on the web at naturalwaylawn.com. Natural Way Lawn and Tree Service. Get green, stay green with Natural Way.
97.1 The Ticket. Traffic.
From the WWJ AM 950 Traffic Center, this report brought to you by BioNTech and Pfizer. The roads to look at this morning, no issues on 696, 96, 94, 275, or I-75. We do have a construction zone southbound freeway southbound at Michigan Avenue. Right lane closure scheduled until late May.
site credit, and all you have to do is place your first bet of $5 or more. And here's the thing for new customers. What I like about the FanDuel Sportsbook app, it's easy to navigate, to understand, check it out for yourself. Now, how you bet the championship game is up to you. You can choose from money line, totals, prop bets, and so much more. Join FanDuel today with the promo code DOUG, and then you can place your $5 bet to score $150 in bonus site credit guaranteed. It's promo code DOUG on FanDuel Sportsbook app. Must be 21 or older and present in Michigan. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem. Call 1-800-2707-117. Confidential help. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 97 The Ticket.
Looking for a career in HVAC with a company that wants you to grow? Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical, the most trusted family-owned and operated HVAC company, is now hiring for 3 locations. Honest, skilled, and highly motivated service techs, installers, and residential electricians. Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical offers great pay, medical, dental, life, short-term disability, PTO, training, and more. Join the family. Apply online. FamilyHeating.com. FamilyHeating.com.
Help Mother Waddles to help those in need by donating your card. Your card donation to Mother Waddles will provide food and shelter to the poorest of the poor. Call Mother Waddles today and change a life. Call 313-WADDLES. Play the perfect mixtape. Your favorite hip-hop and rock from the 90s and then some. Featuring songs from Dr. Dre, Nirvana, Snoop Dogg, Beastie Boys, and more. Search No Daddies, No Problems on the Odyssey app website. Necessary Roughness with former NFL lineman TJ Lang and John Jansen. Download it today on the Odyssey app. Live from the Jamie Samuelson studio, here's Stoney and Jansen.
97-1, the ticket. Kansas taking on North Carolina for the national championship tonight. Jayhawks favored 4.5. What book you will use? Over under around 152.5. Late, I thought they're always pretty damn close.
Vegas knows.
Yes, they do. All right. Let me ask you this. After the game on Saturday, Duke, North Carolina, second game, the doubleheader of the Final Four, Mike Krzyzewski, the coaching staff, Hubert Davis and their coaching staff, went to the handshake lines with the players of at least one team. That would be North Carolina. Wendell Moore Jr. was the only Duke player I saw shaking hands. Look, either get rid of the handshake line altogether, or make it. I don't know if they can make it mandatory, but as a coach, you got to be able to get your guys involved in that stuff, don't you?
Well, I've said this before. I don't have an issue at that moment of not shaking hands. Now, what we didn't see, the zoom out is, especially the 5 guys that are on the court for both teams at the end. A lot of times there's a fist bump because these guys have played time and time again, either with each other or against each other throughout high school, throughout AAU, and now obviously a couple of times a year being at these 2 universities. So it's not like they're unfamiliar with each other. And, hey, if you're just going to go to the locker room, that's fine. The problem I would have is, and we won't get a chance to see it, we will, next year with those that are returning, is if Duke beats North Carolina in their first matchup and then all of them race to the handshake line to shake North Carolina's hand. That's when I would have an issue with it, because if you're not going to do it after a loss, correct, I better not see you after a win as well either.
Look, it's not a good look, especially after the little handshake thing after the game where
one of the assistant coaches,
Chris Caraway,
pulled his hand back from Hubert Davis.
Yeah, I mean, it just was not that was not good.
Don't do it to the head coach.
Yeah.
Like, you know where the camera's going to be.
And they were so because they disrespected
basketball, right? It is front and center. It's not two teams coming off of different sidelines and some of the guys just going to the locker room, which happens in football because there's no, you don't line up at the 50-yard line like they do sometimes in, Pee Wee football and in high school football, and you go through the handshake line. It's kind of everybody goes their different direction, and some guys fist bump, exchange jerseys, whatever it is that you do after a football game. So I understand the tradition of it. And if you want to just get away from the tradition of it, and you just say everybody mingle at on the court for the next 3 or 4 minutes, that's fine. I don't care. It's a non-issue for me.
See, I'm torn on this a little bit. It's like, I feel like it would have been the classic thing to do, but you go back to Juwan Howard, and you're better off walking away if you can't handle it.
I would always expect if you're going to be in a handshake line, whether you're forced to be there or not, that it's not going to lead to somebody slapping somebody else.
Exactly, but I will say, I do feel there's a little bit of a double standard going on here with the media. I think, I'm going to be such a hypocrite here, but I do feel like the attention given to this has only been on, social media and, rogue websites versus, no mention of this on the mainstream media,
right?
Really. And I'll put Michigan in that. Let's say Michigan was playing in that game, and just Juwan Howard and one player went to the line. I think Juwan Howard would be, ripped for this.
Well,
Michigan would be ripped for this.
Michigan would, Juwan wouldn't, because he went through the line.
Well, right, but I do think there's a little bit of a free pass being given to Duke here, even though I think we're kind of going through this change in sports here, where this is not as big of a deal as maybe we thought it was, or
because it's Duke.
It's just
not a big deal.
In general, you know what? I've always been, I don't cheat. Let's play the game, man up each other, and after the game, if I can't give somebody a slap on the hand and say good job,
right?
I just don't know what I'm doing here. And it's a changing of people and athletes and what
it goes back and forth, because years ago they never had a handshake line, so they've gone from no handshakes to handshakes, and now some teams aren't handshakes.
Yeah.
So it is. Who knows? There isn't. Hockey's the only one where there's actually a precedent.
Right, and here's the other thing too, is that all of these players, especially at the college level, and now it's in the NFL as well, because everybody that was, it's just a younger generation, right? And they communicate so much on social media. Hey, I'm going to hit you up in your DMs, or I'm going to text you, because they share numbers. Like I said, these guys all played together in AAU. Or at least around the same circuits. They know each other, the recruiting trips that they take. A lot of them are very familiar with each other. So if they don't, who's to say that, half that Duke team or all of them didn't text a buddy on that team and say, hey, congratulations and, best of luck against Kansas. And it's the same thing. They got buddies on Kansas too.
Right.
Hey, good luck. I'll be watching. I'm pulling for you.
Look, I understand you lost an emotional game. You were up late, and you lost the game. And a lot of these guys on Duke are not seniors, and they've never gone. Some of them never gone through this before, and they just were pissed off. And I get that, but either you have a handshake line or you don't.
Right. Whether they've gone through this exact scenario or not, they've been in big games. They've had big moments. They've had, you don't get to this point and this is your first big loss.
Right.
So, they've had an opportunity to handle these situations before, and like I said, it's a fist bump at mid-court as you're going off. You may not go through the formal handshake line, and I really don't care. I really don't. I think everybody is making such a big deal about nothing.
Well, they're not making a big deal about it because the mainstream media is not.
Yeah.
Because it's Duke. Somebody else.
But you don't have to throw in because it's Duke. It's just not a big deal.
But I think that's the point. The point is, if it was another team, it might be a bigger deal to people. But because it's Duke, it's Coach K, can do whatever the hell he wants.
All right. They didn't want to stain his walk-off is kind of what I'm saying.
Pretty much. All right, 248-539-9797. That's the telephone number. That's the ticket text. After Chris Villar's update, a sort of a mock draft and a debate. 97 on the ticket.
WXYZ
WXYT FM and WXYT HD1 Detroit. An Odyssey station. Sports headlines. All day, every day. From the Sold by Mike Z Sports Desk. This is 97.1 The Ticket.
Brought to you by Michigan Hair Restoration. For the first time in 4 games, the Red Wings scoring the first goal in their game. However, in the end, it didn't matter, and they suffered a very familiar result.
Ottawa's got a nail wide open net. 2 players coming down. Wide open net. Who else? Josh Norris, Michigan native. 3rd goal of the hockey game, and
Hats are flying, Paul. Hats are flying.
okay, to something else.
He's great. He's great.
Paul Woods at the call right here on 97.1 The Ticket with Daniela Bruce. Norris, a Michigan native, with the hat trick that put away Detroit for the 6th straight game. Meanwhile, the Pistons are on a winning streak despite Kate Cunningham not playing. Sadiq Bey leading Detroit to a 121-117 victory behind 31 points. They've now won 3 straight. Spencer Torkelson going deep for the first time this spring after learning that he made the Tigers roster over the weekend, a 400-footer during an 8-7 loss to the Phillies in Clearwater. Casey Mize going just over 4 innings and giving up 3 solo homers and 7 hits. And Tiger Woods says that his participation in the Masters this week will be a game-time decision as he continues to test his body, which has been healing from his car accident last winter. At the Ticket Update Desk, I'm Chris Villar for more. Stay tuned to 97.1 The Ticket and Odyssey.com.
Live from the Jamie Samuelson Studio, Stoney and Jansen on 97.1 The Ticket.
Thank you, Chris. AJ Hitch will join us at 8 o'clock. All right, we have some ticket texts to go through. I mentioned that I fell asleep watching the Duke North Carolina game about midway through the second half, and thanks to the fact that DVR records everything a half hour back, when I woke up during the post game, I just went back to basically where I fell asleep. So got to watch it. So we asked if you've ever fallen asleep at anything like games. All right, we got a few here. I left at halftime of the 28-3 game to go on a Tinder date, and I got catfished. Oh my God! Wow! Holy moly! It wasn't during a big game, but my wife and I and another couple were at the Michigan-Miami, Ohio game during the Hoke years in a suite. I fell asleep during the first quarter, woke up with about 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. I didn't miss much. That's from Drew at Davison.
The game, though.
I fell asleep during the ALCS Game 4 for the Tigers. Bottom of the 9th, Ordonez hits the home run to send us to the World Series. I woke to my dad yelling, and all I saw was Polanco skipping towards home. I was so upset I missed it. That's from Allie. During the He Has Trouble with the Snap game, I was in the hospital after surgery and had fallen asleep. I woke screaming, so I thought there was a fight on the hospital floor. Happy day.
Nope.
November 1991. I had just started a new job with weird hours. No booze or drugs involved. I fell asleep at a Metallica concert. How does that happen? Because of the noise, the loudness.
Well, if it's a long day, so I went to a Lollapalooza in '97, and I fell asleep at the end when Tool was on.
But you were probably inebriated.
A little.
Yeah. All right, as far as the handshake line goes, these texts. And we welcome your calls to 248-539-9797. Handshake line shows character. That's just how Duke is. If you're an ACC person, you expect it from Duke. They usually hide their true colors on a national stage. Those young men are upset that Coach K was disrespected by not going through the handshake line. They put all the attention on themselves, also disrespecting their coach instead of honoring and shaking hands and making themselves above the problem. No, we're talking about the handshake line in the last game at Cameron.
Yeah.
As far as
the way that they treated Hubert Davis,
that had nothing to do with, I don't believe, Saturday. Hey, I'm not sure what levels you played sports to, but as you advance in levels from youth middle school, high school to national events, and high school to NCAA championship events